of the Presidency College in Calcutta University, and its expenditure in the first year was just rupees 230. From there, we gradually grew with the pioneering work of an exemplary, eminent group of researchers, mathematicians, statisticians, and now it stands as a world-renowned center of learning, which conducts several academic programs of international repute and fosters exemplary research activities. The institute was engaged in numerous agricultural and socio-economic surveys from the start. These efforts led to the establishment of National Sample Survey or Office, NSSO, which continues to play a crucial role in nationwide data collection for developmental planning. PCM's advocacy also led to the creation of the Central Statistical Office. The Foundation Day brings all the members of the ISI family to look fondly with pride and joy on all the achievements of the Institute since 1931. Let me give a short introduction of myself. So I joined the Population Studies Unit at ISI Kolkata as an assistant professor on 24th June of this year. So I had the opportunity to be a part of the birth anniversary of PCM and also the Workers' Day just 5 days after my joining. Several eminent speakers spoke about PCM's vision for ISI. What intrigued me the most was that his interest in statistics began almost by chance in 1915, when a delayed voyage from England to India allowed him to explore the subject. We all know about the special bond Professor Mahalanobis shared with Rabindranath Tagore. It was Rabindranath Tagore who played a pivotal role in steering Mahalanobis, then a professor of physics at Calcutta's Presidency College, towards formal statistical activities. In 1917, Tagore introduced him to scholar Rajendranath Seal, who asked Mahalanobis to analyze the examination records of Calcutta University. This marked Mahalanobis' first statistical venture with real-life data. On the first day of my joining, as I was heading towards the director's office to fulfill some of the joining formalities, the plaque with Professor Mahalanobis' handwritten testimony on the role of statistics in society caught my eye. He states there that statistics is the universal tool of inductive inference, research in natural and social sciences, and technological applications. Statistics, therefore, must always have purpose, either in the pursuit of knowledge or in promotion of human welfare. I think this beautifully summarizes the philosophy with which Professor Mahalanobis founded this beautiful institution. I would now request ISI club members to begin the celebration with some beautiful melodies.
Swagatam, Shubha Swagatam, Swagatam, Shubha Swagatam, Ananda Mangala Mangalam, Ananda Mangala Mangalam, Nida Priyam Bharata Bharatam, Nida Priyam Bharata Bharatam, Swagatam, Shubha Swagatam, Swagatam, Shubha Swagatam. Nitya Nirantara Tanavata, Malavata, Pramata Mavata, Sarathi Sadha Manorataka, Jo Hari Bhar Nahi Thamata. Sankalpa Abhijita Abhimatam, Sankalpa Abhijita Abhimatam, Ananda Mangala Mangalam, Ananda Mangala Mangalam, Nida Priyam Bharata Bharatam, Nida Priyam Bharata Bharatam. Swagatam, Shubha Swagatam, Atha Swagatam, Shubha Swagatam. सुमित नहीं कामना सुरभित नहीं साधनाएं सुमित नहीं कामनाएं सुरभित नहीं साधनाएं मैत्री मैत्री आंगन में प्रमुदित बंधु भावनाएं मैत्री मैत्री आंगन में प्रमुदित बंधु भावनाएं शाश्वत सुविकसित इति शुभम् शाश्वत सुविकसित इति शुभम् आनन्द मंगल मंगलम् आनन्द मंगल मंगलम् नित प्रियं भारत भारतम् नित प्रियं भारत भारतम् स्वागतं शुभ स्वागतम् अथ स्वागतं शुभ स्वागतम् अथ स्वागतं शुभ स्वागतम्
Thank you, ISI Club members, for that beautiful beginning. I will now request Professor Shogomitra Bandyopadhyay, Director of ISI, to please come on stage and deliver the welcome address.
A very good morning to all of you, and a very happy 94th Foundation Day of the Indian Statistical Institute. 1931, 17th of December, with a great vision, this institute was founded by Mohammad Abris. On the 94th day of that foundation of this institute, we've spent quite a bit of time now, ups and downs, this institute has seen it all. And in this very fast changing world, it is now time for us not only to reminisce about the past, not only to feel happy about our history, which is pretty much very, very glorious, very outstanding history we have had, but it is also very important to introspect. Why is this, for example, why is this auditorium not full today? That is something that we have to think ourselves. What pandemic has taught us to do everything online, but that doesn't mean that we have to participate in our institutional activities. So that is something I think we need to now introspect. Where are we standing today in terms of science, in terms of statistics, in terms of mathematics? We have a glorious past. Are we ready for the future? Because this future is very, very different from the years that we've passed so far. 10 years down the line, we don't know how this world is going to look like, the way technology is advancing. Are we up to it? Are we teaching our students to prepare for the world that is to hit them on their faces? Because right now, I think all teachers are also confused what to teach, how to teach, because everything seems to be now taken over by artificial intelligence, machine learning. Where are we now? What to teach the students to be empowered in the years to come? So it is time now not only to celebrate our past successes. In fact, today we will be celebrating the successes of our students and our faculty members who had outstanding achievements this year in 2024. From last year, we started this, that we use the Foundation Day celebrations to felicitate those who brought outstanding recognition to the Institute, glory to the Institute. And that is a very, very pleasurable job, which is in the coming 1 hour. We'll be also listening to why they have been celebrated by the nation internationally. What is their work? We'll listen to that also. So with those few words, I extend a very warm welcome to all of you to this 94th Foundation Day. And I hope not only we will just be happy about our past, but we will prepare truly to continue this legacy, to be stronger and more relevant in not only in this state, but in this country and also globally. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. I now extend a warm welcome to President of ISI, Professor Shankar Pal, National Science Chair at SERV BSc Government of India, former Director and Distinguished Scientist, to kindly come on the dais to deliver his address to this esteemed gathering.
This morning, happy Foundation Day. This is 94th Foundation Day. So, after 6 years, we will be celebrating our centenary. I joined my institute on 1st March 1975. So, I'm going to complete about 50 years. Actually, it is 2.5 months later, 50 years. I have never heard that ISNS is a foundation. We always witnessed and enjoyed 59. He has become the director. I didn't know, to be honest. I don't know why, but when he became director, some professor, I believe Professor Satamudina, reminded me, Shaka, we are going to have 75 years. I think also, they both also, that let us do something for ISEC. So that's why I came to know that our 17th December is our foundation. So since then, I was thinking that how to make our workers aware of it, because we are full enthusiastic about our workers. Now, last week I gave a talk in our WASH students for WASH Foundation, WASH Institute. So I was also thinking, why don't we have a foundation day lecture? Just on that. So I request our building administration for next year, if we can have just one talk foundation day lecture. Now, this 29th June versus 17th December, I think both are equally important to our institute, particularly to our workers and students. You must know that that's the day institute was. Because 29th June, we have a celebration with the food lecture, everybody is invited. But this should be also equally treated as important. And I'm very happy to see that since last year, our administration has been organizing it, celebrating it in a different manner. This year, I see that our ISI club, they have also joined to organize our administration, this ceremony. Next question, I saw in the their program, that's a good event, that felicitating our faculty members and research scholars. See, when we mention those awards and laurels earned by our students in our convocation speech, that is something for everybody. But for our faculty, many people, we have not seen that who got this award. Many times we have seen that we do not know his or her faces also. So this is an occasion that where you can see those our stars from faculty and our the future stars from our research scholars for students, and also to listen them. They are just contributors. So this 10 minutes presentation that will be introduced, I just like it very much. Just 10 minutes you can say anything about it, just need a contribution. And it will mention that in 2006, Institute started this similar ceremony by felicitating two Bhatnagar awardees, that 2005, 2006 together. But I was expecting as a director that it will be now continuing in our institute, but somehow it stopped. But I'm happy to see that this present administration has started it. It's a nice way and celebrating those ones. And felicitation is good from our own institute because you get when you get the recognition from outside, that's outside recognition. But many times I see that our institutes do not celebrate. That is a just painful situation because getting recognition from my own institute, own colleagues, that gives a big push in my own. So I'm happy to see that this process and this program will be continuing every year. And next year I will request to have a just foundation day speaker, just one speaker, so that, and also the auditorium, and just not good to see that this kind of auditorium. What is our student? What are our faculty member? 11 o'clock, is that early, 11:30? So I was asking our director whether we should do it in the afternoon. But he said no, the same thing, morning or afternoon. So that is this show that we have just love for our institute. This is, I'm sorry to use the word. So I'm saying if you have love for our institute, because this is one of the days everybody must know. So that's why this celebrating 17th December is a very good thing and it should be continued. And also I'm happy to see that last year I suggested to put some lighting on our institute so that everybody can know that it is something occasion. So I saw it yesterday evening where evening walk that lights like that. Thanks to one, and I'll also request just make one class. Happy Foundation, just one 94th Foundation, just class, just in our administrative meeting 11 o'clock, just Happy Foundation here. So in this one I conclude and I thank you very much. I wish a big success to the event and my institute. And also my congratulations to our stars who you are felicitating today. I'm eagerly waiting to listen today. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. This year, ISI is happy to felicitate two research scholars for their exemplary achievements. To felicitate the research scholars, I request Professor Shankar Pal, President of ISI, and Professor Vishwabrata Pradhan, Dean of Studies, to please come on stage. I would like to welcome on stage Tomojit Shadukar. Tomojit Shadukar obtained his Bachelor of Statistics and Masters of Statistics degree from ISI in 2019 and 2021 respectively. He received the Prashanta Chandra Mohanobis Memorial Gold Medal for the most outstanding performance in the Master of Statistics program. Tomojit joined the Theoretical Statistics and Mathematics Unit, ISI Kolkata, to pursue his doctoral studies under the supervision of Dr. Krishanu Maulik and Dr. Partholil Roy. He has been awarded the International Mathematical Union Breakout Graduate Fellowship from IMU in 2024. His research focuses on studies in random processes with memories. I would request, if Tomojit is not present, I would request his supervisor, Dr. Krishanu Maulik, to please come on stage to receive the honor.
Very nice. Yeah.
I would now like to welcome on stage Uddalok Sarkar. Uddalok is a third-year PhD student in computer science at the Indian Statistical Institute. He is pursuing his doctoral studies under the supervision of Professor Saurabh Chakraborty. His research focuses on the intersection of distribution testing and formal verification. His broad area of research encompasses addressing problems that connect theoretical insights with practical applications. He was the gold medalist in the MTech program at the Institute and has presented his research at several reputed international conferences. I would now like to welcome Uddalok on stage. If he is not present here, can his supervisor please come on stage, Professor Saurabh Chakraborty, to collect the honor.
Will you be joining? Okay, thank you. Thank you.
I would like to extend my heartiest congratulations to both the research scholars and their supervisors for their laudable achievements. All the best to both of you for your future endeavors. While I was given this responsibility to anchor today, I was just going through a few articles published in the honor of Professor Mahalanobis, and I came across this beautiful paragraph which he published in his first volume, in the second volume of his first edition of Shankar. So I would like to recite the first paragraph that came out as a publication in Shankar. The enchantment of rhythm is obviously felt in music, the rhythm which is inherent in the notes and their groupings. It is the magic of mathematics, this rhythm which is at the heart of all creation, which moves in the atom and in its different measures fashions gold and lead, the rose and the thorn, the sun and the planets, the variety and vicissitudes of man's history. These are the dance steps of numbers in the arena of time and space, which weave the Maya of appearance, the incessant flow of changes that ever is and is not. What we know as intellectual truth is that also not a perfect rhythm of the relationship of facts that produce a sense of convincingness to a person who somehow feels that he knows the truth. We believe any facts to be true because of a harmony. A rhythm is reason, the process of which is analyzed by the logic of mathematics. This quotation from Rabindranath Tagore, which Professor Mahalanobis put on the cover page of the first part of the second volume of his journal Shankar, is suggestive of the importance PCM attached to humanism, mathematics, logic, and statistics. To commemorate this philosophy, we will now call upon stage some of the faculty members at ISI for their remarkable academic achievements and contribution to the fields of statistics, mathematics, and science. The first speaker of the day is Professor Neena Gupta. Professor Neena Gupta is a professor of Stat Math Unit, Kolkata. She has done her MMath and PhD in mathematics from ISI Kolkata. She works in the areas of commutative algebra and affine algebraic geometry. Her research contributions have been widely recognized at national and international levels. She will be delivering the prestigious AWS AMS Emmy Noether Lecture on 9th January 2025 at the annual meeting of the American Mathematical Society. She is the youngest mathematician to be selected for the honor and the first from an Indian institute. 2 days later, on 11th January, she will be bestowed with the Infosys Prize in Mathematical Sciences. 3 years ago, she received the DST ICTP IN Ramanujan Prize in 2021. She was an invited speaker at the International Congress of Mathematicians in 2022 in 2 sections, algebra, complex and algebraic geometry. Later last year, she received the TWASCAS Young Scientist Award for Frontier Science. Earlier, she has received several awards like the Ganit Ratna in 2023, Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Prize in Mathematical Sciences in 2019, B.M. Birla Science Prize in 2017, the Swarna Jayanti Fellowship in 2016, and others. She is a fellow of the Indian Academy of Science and the Indian National Science Academy. She received the Nadi Puraskar from the Honorable President of India in 2022. Her biography is included in the book Vigyan Vidushi, published by Vigyan Prasad on National Science Day 2023 on the occasion of 75 years of India's independence. I welcome Professor Neena Gupta to deliver a brief talk on her recent works.
Thank you. Thank you, the Honorable Director, the President of ISI, the Dean, not, and respected faculty members, dear students, for giving me this honor again in ISI. Today is a Founders Day of 94th Founders Day of ISI. I was glad that I attended the 75th Platinum Jubilee Foundation Day of ISI, and at that time I just joined ISI. So my father attended that program, and he was so much impressed by ISI that he decided that my daughter should be there. So that was the occasion when we had an occasion. This was a great boost to me and my parents to encourage my studies. I work in the area of, am I audible? I work in the area of commutative algebra and affine algebraic geometry. Today I will briefly touch upon several interesting problems in this area. First, let me pay my tribute to Professor Amy Noether. She is known as a mother of modern algebra, as well as she is a founder of my subject, commutative algebra. She has proved several results in mathematics as well as in physics, and I'm very much attached to her, most partly because my pioneering work in she did a pioneering work in the area of ring of invariants of group actions, and some of these techniques were also used in my breakthrough results. Involves the ring of invariants of GA actions. So let me begin by describing my area. So I work in the area of commutative algebra, and my focus is mainly on the polynomial ring. So polynomials like fx and phi xy, they are very basic in mathematics as natural numbers. Like we can add two numbers. Similarly, we can add two polynomials. We can multiply this polynomial. This together, the study of this structure, the addition and multiplication, they form a structure in mathematics known as rings. And this collection of polynomials in n variables will form a ring known as a polynomial ring in n determinant over a field K. So this field K we can treat as a real numbers or complex number, any finite field, anything it can be taken. Polynomial rings have been a central theme of research in algebra and geometry for more than 100 years. And one of the pioneers in the area, who is the founder of this area of affine algebraic geometry, he did many pioneering work. He promoted the study of polynomial rings by writing a poem, and his poems begins with these two lines: "Polynomials and powers is, may they forever rule the world." Let me begin by describing the area of affine algebraic geometry. So what we do is we study in this area the study of affine n space. It involves the study of the space Kn, where K is any field. So you can take it to be the Cn or Rn with some topology and a sheet structure, which I will not get into. And then we have the study of affine varieties. So affine variety is the zero locus of some system of polynomial equations. For instance, the parabola is a zero locus of the equation y equal to x square, or the hyperbola xy equal to 1. These have been studied, these geometric objects have been studied algebraically using solving equations, and in general, the affine varieties in higher dimension may look very well complicated. And this complicated structure, that we study this property of this geometric object by applying the techniques of commutative algebra. And affine algebraic geometry is the area where we study these geometric objects, the affine spaces, and the zero sets of some system of polynomial equations, namely the affine varieties. Now, let me I will just present some list of some very challenging problems in the area of affine algebraic geometry. My research work involved all of these problems except the first one. Let me say very frankly, I have not done anything on the first one. Today, I will be discussing briefly about the first two problems, number 2 and 3.
So the main thing involved in some of these problems have been to determine whether a given polynomial f is a coordinate. That is, suppose f is a polynomial in n indeterminate, can you find n minus 1 polynomials f2, f3, fn such that the polynomial ring kx1 up to xn is generated by the kf, f2, f3, up to fn. So this is very challenging. In general, in higher dimension, it becomes very difficult. And of special interest have been the polynomials which are linear in one of the coordinates. Another important thing is the determine whether a given ring is a polynomial ring over a ring. And this is again a very difficult problem. And we will see that in recent decades in the area of affine algebraic geometry, some of the major challenges have been to based on these two things, and of special interest, we consider rings which are quotient of polynomial rings by linear polynomials, that is polynomials which are linear in one of the indeterminate. Throughout my talk, K will denote a field of any characteristic, and for any ring R, A equal to R square bracket n would mean that it is that would mean that A is a polynomial ring in n determinate over R. So let me begin with the cancellation. It is a very important thing in mathematics. We have all seen the usefulness of cancellation right from our school days. However, we have to be careful. For instance, if we take two non-zero elements, 0, B and C, then 0 times B is same as 0 times C, whereas B is not equal to C. And for matrices, we can have AX equal to AY even when X is not equal to Y. So it's important to know when can be cancelled. And the algebraic structure groups is defined in such a way that we are allowed to cancel. An important theme in research is when this cancellation of spaces. For instance, if you are working with a vector space over field K, and it says V is a vector space of dimension n, and if you adjoin one more dimension to it, then it becomes a vector space of dimension n plus 1, then this implies that V is a vector space of dimension n. So the Zariski's cancellation problem. So Zariski is known as the father of modern algebraic geometry, and he was the person who described the present theory of algebraic geometry and commutative algebra. So the Zariski's cancellation problem basically asks, so if you have an affine variety V, and if you adjoin a one dimension to it, and suppose it becomes an affine n plus 1 space, does that necessarily imply that V is an isomorphic to an affine n space? More generally, if you have a ring A and you adjoin an indeterminate W, so the polynomial ring in one indeterminate over A, suppose it is isomorphic to the polynomial ring in n plus 1 variable, does that necessarily imply that A itself is a polynomial ring in n indeterminate? So case n is equal to 1, it was not so difficult. It was proved by Abhyankar, Ekin and Heinzel. In fact, they proved something much more general. However, the case for n equal to 2 was highly non-trivial. So it was proved in characteristic 0 by Miyanishi and Sugi with an important contribution to Fujita. Soon, Peter Russell generalized it to any perfect state. And recently we did for purpose of Bhattacharya, we solved it for any field K. So thus, the affine plane is cancellated over any field K, and this was highly a non-trivial result. The research on the Zariski's cancellation problem for n equal to 2 had led to the beautiful topological characterization of the affine plane by C.P. Ramanujan and the algebraic characterization of the affine plane by Miyanishi. C.P. Ramanujan is again one of the great mathematicians from Kerala. He has done outstanding work in this area, and many remarkable results have been named up. His methodist figure, David Mumford, also has very high opinion about him. And we now see Professor Russell, Miyanishi, Professor Gurjar, and Chorus. They have been working on this cancellation problem in the area of affine algebraic for a long time. And what I did is that in 2014, I first proved that the cancellation in positive characteristic does not hold, and which I soon generalized in higher dimension. However, the problem is still open in characteristic 0 for any integer n greater than equal to 3. So the cancellation problem for n equal to 3 was obtained as a consequence of the counterexample provided by Asanova. So this is the Asanova ring. It's a polynomial ring in 4 variable quotiented by a linear polynomial in Y. Asanova in his landmark paper had proved that this ring A is an A2 variation over Kx and it is a stably polynomial ring. However, A is not a polynomial ring over the subring Kx. Thus, this ring A is a counterexample to the A2 variation problem over the PID. In 1994, Asanova looked at this example again and he posed this problem. Is this ring A a polynomial ring over K? This problem is very important because it has two consequences. If the answer is yes, then the linearization problem would have negative solution in positive characteristic. However, if the answer is no, then clearly it's a counterexample to the Zariski's cancellation problem in positive characteristic. Peter Russell, in his survey article, had referred to this example as Asanova's dilemma. So Professor Asanova, he had visited ISL several times, and I was fortunate that he visited during my PhD days, with whom I could interact and had thought about this problem. I proved that this Asanova's ring is A is not a polynomial ring whenever this integer r is greater than or equal to 2. Now I come to the linear affine varieties. So recent development in the area of affine algebraic geometry had suggested that this polynomials of the form f equal to ay minus b is a linear polynomial in Y has been very important in the study of many central problems like affine fibration problem, the linearization problem, and the Zariski's cancellation problem. A crucial step in the settling the linearization conjecture for the affine tree space over C3 by Porus was involved deciding whether this ring A is a polynomial ring or not. So this is again a ring in 4 variable quotiented by a linear polynomial. Similarly, and this example, this ring A, Makalimanov in his landmark paper proved that this ring A is not a polynomial ring. Again, this Asanova's threefold, which we just now studied, which has connection with the affine fibration problem and the linearization problem, is again a linear polynomial in Y. Now I describe what is an epimorphism problem. So the epimorphism problem asks if the quotient ring of a polynomial ring by a polynomial f defines a polynomial ring in n-1 variable, does that necessarily imply that f is a coordinate? This problem has an affirmative answer for n equal to 2, and it is known as the one of the celebrated results in the theory of affine algebraic geometry by Henker and Moe in characteristic 0. And however, it was known to have negative solution in positive characteristic. So examples were already known by Segre and Nagata. The Abhenker-Sahes conjecture asserts an affirmative answer to this in characteristic 0. And even though this problem has a counterexample in positive characteristic, it has been suggested that for some special form of f, it may have a positive solution. Like this theorem of Sartre and Russell. Sartre proved it in characteristic 0 and Russell in arbitrary characteristic that if G is a linear polynomial in Y, then G is a coordinate under this. Now we have been able to prove a generalization of Sartre's Russell theorem, kind of epimorphism theorem in higher dimension, where H is a linear polynomial in Y and A is a quotient of D by H. So now these are natural questions. Under what condition this ring A is a polynomial ring? Or the ring A, suppose it's a polynomial ring, does that necessarily imply that the polynomial H is a coordinate? And if it is a coordinate, is it a coordinate along with the indeterminate xn up to xn? Affirmative answers under certain assumption on alpha and f has been obtained in recent papers with Purnashri Ghosh and Ananya Pal. For example, we have been able to show that in characteristic zero, whenever capital F is a polynomial in Z and P, then we have an affirmative solution to all these three questions. And in characteristic positive, we have to take alpha to be of this spatial form A1x1, A2x2, and ANX1. Now I want to conclude my small talk with this example of Bhattacharya and Datta, which again gives an example of a linear polynomial in Z in 4 variables. And Bhattacharya and Datta, they proved that this ring A is an A2 fibration over B, and this ring A is also a stably polynomial ring over B. And this F defines an affine tree space. That is, if you go modulo F, then it's a polynomial ring in 3 variable over C. Thus, F is a linear hyperplane in C4, and it is still an open problem that whether F is a coordinate along with P. In fact, more generally, you can ask at least whether F is a coordinate in this ring A. And if this answer is no, then we have a counter example to all these 3 problems. It's a very challenging problem which has been left open for several years. And this Professor Datta, Professor Bhattacharya, and Professor Salve, some of these Indian mathematicians who have been contributing a lot in the area of etymorphism problem. And thanks to them, I have been inspired by them to work on this. And thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for that interesting talk. I would now like to welcome on stage Professor Sushmita Mitro. Professor Mitro is a senior professor at the Machine Intelligence Unit, Indian Statistical Institute, Kolkata. She joined ISI in 1989 and completed her PhD in 1995. She was recruited as a programmer in 1991. From 1992 to 94, she was in the RWTH Archive, Germany, as a DAAD fellow. She received the National Talent Search Scholarship from NCERT, India, the University Gold Medal, the IEEE Neural Network Council Outstanding Paper Award for her pioneering work in neurofuzzy computing, the CIMPA INRIA UNESCO Fellowship, the Fulbright Nehru Senior Research Fellowship. She was the INAE Chair for Professor during 2018-2020. Dr. Mitra has been awarded the prestigious J.C. Bose National Fellowship in 2021. Dr. Mitra is the author of the books Neurofuzzy Pattern Recognition, Methods in Soft Computing and Data Mining. Neurofuzzy Pattern Recognition, Methods in Soft Computing, and Data Mining, Multimedia, Soft Computing and Bioinformatics, published by John Wiley, and the Introduction to Machine Learning and Bioinformatics, published by Chapman and Hall, CRC Press, beside a host of other edited books. Dr. Mitra has guest edited special issues of several journals, is an associate editor of a myriad of reputed academic journals and proceedings. She has more than 150 research publications in reputed international journals. Dr. Mitra is a fellow of the IEEE, the World Academy of Sciences, Indian National Science Academy, International Association for Pattern Recognition, Asia Pacific Artificial Intelligence Association, and fellow of the Indian Academy of Sciences. She is also a fellow at the Indian National Academy of Engineering, the National Academy of Sciences, India. She serves as a member of the Inter-Academy Panel for Women in STEM. She has visited more than 30 countries as a plenary invited speaker or an academic visitor. She served in the capacity of General Chair, Program Chair, Tutorial Chair of many international conferences. She was the Chair IEEE Kolkata section in 2021-22 and an IEEE CIS Distinguished Lecturer. Her current research interests include data science, machine learning, soft computing, medical image processing, and bioinformatics. I now welcome on stage Professor Mitra to please give a small talk on her recent works.
Very good morning to all of you. So I don't have any presentation as such, but I will just give a brief summary of what I have done since I joined ISI. So as you have been told earlier, so I came here, before that I came here for my MTech project. I was doing my MTech in computer science in University of Calcutta, and our president now, Professor Shankar Pal, had a project for which the project lead personnel position had been advertised, and I looked at it and I left my GATE fellowship and I came here and joined as a project lead person under Professor Pal. So that was about measuring something on mango leaves, and that was the project I faintly remember. Then I joined the CSIR Senior Research Fellowship under Professor Pal. That was in 1989. And after that, the journey in ISI began since then. And in 1991, 1st November, I was recruited as a programmer here. I was doing my PhD at that time, and then I left the fellowship and joined here. And as a programmer, I had some assignments that I had been given by some of the professors here at that time. And then I went to Germany under the DAC fellowship, and I submitted my thesis and got the PhD in 1995 from ISI. That was on neurofuzzy computing. My thesis had 4 IEEE full papers, transactions papers, 2 in neural networks and 2 in SMC. Yeah. And after that, I was promoted to associate professor. That was also in 95, I think, I recall. And so I started my research career in neurofuzzy computing. That was soft computing. A major component of that was neurofuzzy, the hybridization of neural nets and fuzzy sets. I did classification, rule generation. Those days it was expert systems, it was called like that. So that was pattern recognition. Gradually, pattern recognition changed names and it became data mining with the availability of larger data. And after that, as days went by, I became a full professor here. I sometime in 1999, I think. And then this process, this entire research process is a process of learning. First, you learn. When you're a child, you learn from your parents. Then, when you join in your educational institute, you learn from your teachers. In PhD, you learn from your supervisor. You learn from your colleagues. Then you learn from your students. Then you learn from your juniors. Then you learn from your children. So it's a learning process. It's a human learning. And now I do machine learning, deep learning, and so AI is all about learning. So ours is the natural intelligence, whereas machine learning is about the machine intelligence, which I try to do a little bit. In my initial days, it was in pattern recognition. It was about patterns, that is numeric, linguistic, and such values in the space dimension, and working on that for classification, clustering. I have applications in bioinformatics, gene clustering, bi-clustering, gene regulatory network extraction. Subsequently, I shifted to images, particularly medical image applications. And currently, I am working in the domain of medical image applications of deep learning. Today, the students know more than me, of course, I should admit that. And they work in attention models also, and medical imaging applications. So my entire contribution could be summarized as first starting with generating generic family of neurofuzzy networks for handling classification, clustering, rule generation, then using soft computing in including rough sets, genetic algorithms, and the likes of that, collaborative clustering, bi-clustering, and now in medical image applications. So it was in the process, I have been fortunate to be awarded a number of awards and fellowships and honors. I have been awarded the fellowship of all the three national science academies and the National Engineering Academy of India, as well as a few abroad. But it was a very pleasant surprise for me to be honored today, felicitated today by my own institute, and it's been a long journey, and I'm very happy and thankful to the institute for having bestowed me with this honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Mehta. The third speaker of today is Dr. Shobhit Roy. Dr. Shobhit Roy is a professor at the Statistical Science Division of the Indian Statistical Institute, Kolkata. His primary research focus is game theory, encompassing various aspects such as mechanism design, non-cooperative, cooperative, evolutionary, calculation, and stochastic games. He also actively works in areas such as combinatorics, probability theory, algebraic graph theory, and the stochastic block model. Dr. Roy did MStat from ISI and PhD from the University of Maastricht, Netherlands. He earlier received prestigious awards like the Social Choice and Welfare Award in 2024 and the Professor M.J. Manohar Rao Award in 2016. Dr. Roy has authored numerous journal articles in reputed publications, including Theoretical Economics, Journal of Economic Theory, SIAM Journal on Control and Optimization, Linear and Multilinear Algebra, and Electronic Journal of Probability. A dedicated mentor, he has successfully supervised 5 PhD students who are now placed at esteemed academic institution and is currently guiding 7 more across statistics and economics department. His scholarly work continues to make a significant impact on both theoretical advancements and practical applications in his field. I welcome Dr. Roy to come on stage for a brief talk.
Is the time? Okay. So, first of all, thank you very much for this honor. And firstly, I will start. So, thanks to the director, to the president of ISI, everybody here, for being present here to honor this achievement of mine and all of others. First, I will start with giving credits for so whatever I have done, I think the major credit. I'm speaking with mathematics, so the major contribution to that is from Professor Aruna Vasen, who is, I'm very lucky that I'm happy that he is here today. So I was doing MStat in Indian Statistical Institute, Delhi. I took some specialization called advanced probability. I was learning, doing very advanced mathematics like advanced function and so on. And then I took one course in game theory, which was offered by Professor Aruna Vasen. And I got so impressed, so I got so connected with that subject that though I was totally planned to do PhD in mathematics, I cleared the CII exam and some other mathematics exams also. But then I changed my mind and I decided to do PhD in game theory. And again, Professor Aruna Vasen, he practically he sent me. I mean, I didn't write this JRF profile exam. I was a very unorganized and I would say I was not a very hardworking person when I was a student, not at all. So he did everything possible for me to go to University of Maastricht to do my PhD, and there I came under the supervision of Professor Hans Peters.
And he's the one I will give again full credits, the way he guided me, the way he taught me game theory, the way he connected me to game theory. That again changed my vision to game theory. And then after that, of course, my co-supervisor, Professor Tom Stolken, also influenced me a lot. And there are many other people, I cannot list everyone, but these two people I must mention everywhere, whenever I get an award, I always say this is just the truth, that the most major contribution of whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm going to do, is from Professor Aruna Hussain and Professor Hans Peters. Now, after giving these credits, let me tell you what game theory is. I have a very informal presentation. So game theory, the way I see it, is like a physics of human particles. Okay. So you know physics, we all know, we can see physics around. It's kind of, there are some particles, some bodies, they are interacting with each other, and we try to find the stable system. Game theory is also like that, but the particles are human beings. They are moving according to their incentives. And we have to know, if we all are human beings, we have our incentives. Where will we converge? You know, what we are going to do in every specific situation. Like we already have this problem today that there are not many people here. What type of rules, whether there should be some rewards, some penalty, what type of rules we can interpret, like we can form so that the participation increases. So that's one game theory problem. In particular, it's called a mechanism design problem. So here, a mechanism is a rule, and we are designing this mechanism so that in an equilibrium, here I will come to the point why equilibrium is important. In an equilibrium, people will behave in a way we want people to behave. We want means they behave in a way so that which is good for the society, which is good for the progress of human world. Now, in this mechanism, so if the designer, now I'm explaining the mechanism design problem, which is a topic some people say is different from game theory, some people say it's a topic in game theory. Whatever it is, it has game theory component. So the problem is that as a designer, you have some freedom. You can select some rules. You cannot do whatever you want. You can have some freedom. And from these rules, you want to select one which satisfies some desirable property. You want to achieve something and you want to see which rule ensures that. Now, what is the problem here? The problem is that you cannot ask people to behave in a particular way. You can just form some rules that if you do this, then this will happen. If you do that, then something else will happen. Now it's your choice what you do. I cannot just force that you do this. And now, when you are the person, what is the problem? That what you do, that exactly doesn't determine most times the penalty or reward. For instance, I can give you a very practical example, very realistic example. So in seminars, we have a rule that there should be, say, some 8 or 10 students present in every seminar. Now there are, say, 15 students. Now, which 8 or 10 students will be present, nobody knows. Suppose there are some like very obedient students who come to every seminar and somehow the participation is 8 or 10. It is going this way. And somehow, some of these very obedient students, they fall sick. Then one day the participation is 7. Then what the department will do? The department now has to punish everyone. So the 7 or the 8 students who have been present all the time, they're doing nice or they follow the rules, they do not get it anymore. I mean, they are now just uniformly punished with everybody else. So you see that this rule has a problem because you are not following up who is doing what, who is contributing what. You just say that as long as there are 8 students, everything is fine. This is one mechanism. This clarifies that the equilibrium behavior, your optimum outcome doesn't depend on what are the utilities you will directly get. It depends on what other people are doing. And you do not always communicate with the other people to see what they are doing. Like if the students can communicate, they can arrange that way. This 8 will go today, this 8 will go tomorrow, and so on. But that doesn't happen. You cannot just ensure. You can have a plan, then some people will at the end define. Okay. So your strategy depends on the state of the nature and also on what you believe about the actions of the others. What you believe about the actions of the others depend on what they believe about the actions of you. It's an infinite hierarchy of beliefs. That makes it a very difficult problem. Okay, so that's roughly what game theory is, and in particular, mechanism design is. I work on different types of game theory. I'm extremely passionate about game theory. I try to find game theory everywhere. I work with many very bright students of ISA. They are my juniors. They have been doing different things. Somebody have been doing stochastic block models, some other probability problem. So every time I just get to talk to them, I say that in your problem there, you can inject some game theory and are you interested? And whenever they say, I kind of start dancing. Not like, I just say that I'm so happy that some game theory can be added there. And it's not on purpose. I always say that I do not want to do game theory just on purpose and to see if there is some meaning to it, if there is some relevance to it. So now, other types of game theory problems that I work on are some combinatorial games. These are like some simple puzzles. One combinatorial game is chess. You know now the recent achievement of India in chess. So chess is one combinatorial game. There are many other very simple combinatorial games that are open. So very simple. I can give you here. I'm not, but I can tell you personally. Simple combinatorial games. They're like puzzles. But they are open, like nobody knows who will win this game and how to win, or there is a winning strategy and so on. So this is one class of problem. And what I do mainly combinatorial games in infinite random graphs, so it's more like a probability problem. But I also work on the finite version, which is practically a combinatorial problem. And one more thing, so I have made a list of what are the things I will touch upon. So one more thing I would like to discuss here. Mention here that what are the challenges I am facing in game theory. The problem with game theory in India is that, you see, it is very popular in economics because most of its applications are in economics. The subject itself is a topic in mathematics, as per American Mathematical Society's whatever ruling or religion. So the topic in mathematics is used in economics, and then I work with students who are from economics, from statistics, from mathematics, and so on, various backgrounds. The one challenge I face is that after we is where they will pick. That is one challenge I face. It has nothing to do with this, but I'm saying it's just a challenge. I want to share this with you. And nowadays, what I'm doing game theory with people from different backgrounds, from physics, from computer science, from mathematics. And of course, I have been doing people from economics. And there I get the game theory which is most practically relevant. And I'm trying to see whether in India we can have one, what I should say, not a lab, but one forum for game theory. Just one forum where different people can do different type of works. In artificial intelligence, game theory is used. Something called Shakti value is used. But Shakti value is derived from a different context. It has totally different ideas. Now, Shakti value is used in artificial intelligence. It is used in many computer science problems. But I feel that there are countless modifications of Shakti value. I do not know, but probably they are not checking whether they will perform better or not. So there, I think somebody who does hardcore game theory, an interaction between a person who does hardcore game theory and people who are working applying game theory, that is very much needed. So some forum where everybody can communicate is very much important. So my time is over. I've put an L. And also, there's one last thing that many of people here know, that just to get game theory applied everywhere, I do not miss any chance to be involved in any private external ministry projects which may have some application of game theory. So whenever I get a chance to work on a project, maybe private, external ministry, whatever, where I can use game theory, where I can, so that I can see its application. I also feel that in India, game theory, the way, whatever it can do to the progress of India, the game theory, whatever game theory can do, it's not happening. So that is one objective I have. And lastly, as you have faith that game theory is analysis of human beings, interactive human beings. This analysis is very difficult without performing experiments. No matter what equilibrium motion, Nash equilibrium, whatever I give, you will see in real life it's not happening. I have some, in some website, there are many games formed. Everywhere, no equilibrium motion is being followed whenever people are playing this game. So experimentation is very important in game theory, and I take that chance. I always write projects, small projects. People perform game theoretic experiment. Where some people will be there, they will play some game, there will be some rewards, chocolates, and so on. I see how people are actually behaving. Whether we can have some more advanced or whatever, some notion which is closer to games. National equilibrium is holds when it's a large game. Many people are reacting for many interacting for a long time. But it is true that in many most cases it converges to national equilibrium, which is evolutionary game, which I also work on. But if you have sufficiently not so many large people interacting for a finite time, then national equilibrium doesn't happen. So what happens? What is the closest approximation of that? That is another challenging problem, and there is no end to it. We cannot understand our own behavior. How can we understand others' behavior? So, but we have to get closer to it. Thank you very much once again for giving this opportunity and for this is an encouragement and for giving this chance to explain to you what are the problems, what is my future plans, ambitions, and everything. And once again, I thank ISI for organizing this and for giving me a place here to do my nurture the things I really like. Thank you very much.
ISI is extremely delighted to felicitate Professor Joydeep Sharkar for his remarkable contributions. Professor Joydeep Sharkar did his PhD at IISc in 2006. After that, he spent around 5 years as visiting assistant professor at the Texas A&M University and University of Texas, San Antonio. Upon his return to India, he joined ISI Bangalore as an assistant professor. His working area is in the field of functional analysis, complex analysis, and operator theory in both one and several variables. Unfortunately, he could not join us in person today. I would now like to request Professor Shambhumitra Bandyopadhyay, Director of ISI, to please come on stage and present mementos to Professor Neena Gupta, Professor Sushmita Mitra, Professor Shobhit Roy, and Professor Joydeep Sharkar for their wonderful contributions. Professor Neena Gupta.
Just stay on, we'll have a group photo.
Professor Sushmita Mitra.
Congratulations.
Professor Shobhit Roy.
Congratulations. After group photo, maybe we can ask the president, will you please come over so that we can have a group photograph? Thank you. Thank you. Ministry of Power is on
With great pleasure, we inform the esteemed gathering here that the ISI Club is soon going to publish its magazine Lekha. For the very first time, the magazine is prepared completely in-house by the ISI Club members by putting tireless efforts beyond office hours. The theme of the magazine this time is Life and Works of Professor C.R. Rao. There is a separate chapter dedicated to Professor C.R. Rao. Another section comprises of contributory articles. The 5 award-winning essays articles that were selected on the occasion of International Women's Day 2024 are also included in the magazine. The Lekhan 2023-24 will be printed and published completely in-house this time, and the draft is available online on ISI Club's website for your comments and suggestions. I would request the CSSC team to please show the draft on the eyesight website.
This is the draft version.
Okay. Come there.
This is the draft version and it's open for your comments and suggestions. Before it is printed, the hard copy of it is available. As we are coming to the end of today's celebration, I would once again request the members of Eyesight Club to take the stage for the national anthem. I would request all in the audience to please stand up for the national anthem. We have now reached the end of today's program. A huge round of applause for the ISI family members and the contributions they have made, not just this year, but for the past 94 years. The audience, I would request everyone to kindly proceed to enjoy a warm cup of tea outside the auditorium.
वो আমি জানি